Hey there, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Good morning, crypto friends. Happy Thursday. We're live, and we had a bounce in play. Hope you got a part of that. Looks like retail has bought the dip, and we did come down and test one more time. It looks like we may be good to go. So let's get looking at the charts here. So good morning. We're looking at BTC/USD on the 4-hour time frame. We have supported 38,471.09. And your resistance level coming up through is 40,887.45. Moving on to Ethereum, ETH/USD. Ethereum, we have support now at the 2566.01 and resistance up at the 2797.05. And as you can see, as the RSI here got underneath the oversold, it did trigger a bounce, which is very common in technical analysis. Moving on to BNB USD Binance Coin, up 11% or 11.5%, I should say. So looking at support, 357.69 and resistance 417.488 for BNB USD. Looking at ADA Cardano, up 22.84%. We have support there at the 1.59. And resistance you're going to look at coming back through. Let's readjust that just a little bit. Nope, there we go. We had it off the 1 hour. 1.831 for ADA Cardano. Moving on to PolkaDot, DOT USD. PolkaDot up 15.07. We have support down at the 24.40 and resistance coming back through. First, going to have to get through this previous high. I went ahead and put the resistance up at the 31.1589. A little bit lighter volume here on this name, so keep an eye out on the volume. Let's move on to the Doge. Doge up 21.29% off the bounce. So we are looking at 0.3471 as support and 0.4241 resistance, which we've been there before, so we need to get through this 12-day moving average you see causing a little bit of resistance on the climb back through. We'll move on to LTC Litecoin, up 13.17%. So we're looking at support 198.08 and resistance up at the 218.95, just barely above the oversold. So Litecoin hasn't really lit up yet. So we'll keep an eye on the light of coin. Moving on to LINK USD. Chainlink, we have support at the 29.219 and resistance coming back through is going to be 34.15894 is based on the previous high, and you'll also see that we have the 12-day moving average to encounter coming back up. We'll move on to Stellar XLM USD. Been kind of quiet here, only up 8% roughly. So we are looking at support 0.477 and resistance up at the 0.533 on the climb back through. Moving on to Vechain, up 16.58%. Support down there at the 0.102 and resistance up at the 0.1302. A very tight range here for Vechain. Moving on to FIL, up 31.63% off that bounce, so that would have been a good one. And we are up above that 12-day moving average, so if we could just close above there, get a little bit more volume, the bulls get through. So we're going to bring a stop loss up a little bit tighter. There we go. So looking at support at the 81.520 and resistance at the 95.12. Let's move on to Storj. STORJ USD up 14.5%. Looking at support at the 1.058 and resistance up there at the 1.2560. And bringing the stop loss up here as we're about to engage in this trade. So here we go. Moving on to IOTA, Internet of Things. We have support 1.214 and resistance way up here at the 1.602. Also watch, we do have that's based off a previous high, but watch this 12-day moving average. We'll have to get through that as well. So a little bit of work to do here on this name, but up 17%. So moving on to Comp USD, up 11.4%. Comp, we have support at the 506.598 and resistance 571.367. Same scenario is based off a previous high, which happens to intersect with that 12-day moving average. Volume is tapering off on this one, so be aware of that. Moving on to basic attention coin, up 12.40%. We have support at the 0.8160 and resistance 0.9129. Based on this previous high intersecting with the 12-day moving average. You're going to find that, if you haven't already discovered, they're all pretty similar here. Moving on to ETC USD, Ethereum Classic. Just missed that. There we go. Here we are. We have support there. We'll readjust this one here. There we are. Save that. Didn't get saved this morning. So support there to 62.765, resistance 72.840 for ETC USD. And where are we? Yes, we are in. So let's get this. We'll put these stop losses just underneath the support levels there. Moving on to MANA, MANA USDC. We have support at the, got a little bit further up, there we are, 0.845 and 0.937 is your resistance. And moving on to ZIL, ZIL USD. We have support down at the 0.1186 and resistance, where's our, there it is, way off of there, okay. Resistance at the 0.15868, I should say. Moving on to NU USD. NU did a big old dip, as we say down here in the South. That indicates a lot. So we have going to have resistance right there at the 0.3531, and support is going to be at the 0.3391 for NU. Looking on to NMR USD. We have support right there at the 40.06 and resistance at the 50.447. And moving on to GRT, the graph token, up 18%, 18.5. So we have support there at the 0.814 and resistance up there at the 1.05. UNI up 13.62% off the bounce. Support at the 24.120 and resistance there all the way up at, once we have to get through this, I suppose I go ahead and set that one 27.043 for your resistance level, and then you'll have the 12-day to encounter. Moving on to AAVE USD. We are up 12.54% for AAVE. And we have support 455.809 and resistance 524. Well, can't get up there yet. We got to get through this guy here. So we have resistance at the 478.58. Then watch out for that 100-day moving average that we're going to have to get through. We have a lot of this support becomes resistance, so we're going to have a lot of resistance coming back through there. Volume is increasing, which is a good sign. And then we'll just bring the stop loss up just above as we start to move into the buy target. Moving on to MKR USD. MKR, we have 3750.63 as your support and your resistance 4026.496. And Moving on to MATIC, MATIC USD. I just added this one to the watch list. It's a new arrival. And 1.815 is your support level. And resistance is at the right there, previous high. Resistance at the 2.057. And then we will get the stop loss just underneath there because we're going to enter this trade there. Dead center of the RSI, and volume seems to be okay. We're halfway through, so we're not too bad a shape for volume. So let's move on to some of these NFTs. Kind of lost their luster during the, I'm not calling it a crash. Everybody else said it was a crash. I think it's just a correction. Talked about it last night. If you didn't see the video, I did a special edition so I can kind of explain the drops here. So check that out if you haven't. Audio, we have support at the 1.347, resistance there to 1.622. CHZ USD. And let's pop into the 1 hour here, see if we can split that up. Find us some resistance there. There we are. Right there, I was close. So looking at resistance 0.330, support 0.2848 for CHZ USD. Get that stop loss up there. Looking at Theta, THETA USD. And where you at? Theta's way up there, so we'll need to switch over to 1 hour. Break these up a little bit. There we are. There we are. We'll use the body of that candle. So we are looking at support at the 7.582 and resistance 8.779. Moving on to ENJB USD. Support 1.199, resistance 1.542. And yes, let's check that there. Sorry about that. There's your support level. So 1.2959 if you're listening on the podcast version. There we go. Moving the stop loss up. Here we go to ONE USD. Harmony 1. Harmony 1 up 15% off the bounce. And tried to get, came up and tested that 100-day moving average, rejected. Tried it again, rejected. So 3 times the charm. We'll be checking that out. So we have support at the 0.1179 and resistance 0.1327. Couple of new additions here. I have EMAX. And the pricing here is not intact yet, so I'm just adding this to the watch list. Also going to be watching KISHU, KISHU, which has a big event going on this week. They even they're putting billboards up in Times Square, all those kind of things. So going to be watching KISHU and EMAX WETH, which is wrapped ETH. So wrapping up here with Bitcoin dominance, as you see, we had folks on the big trip down. When the alt sold off, it all was traded into BTC. Now it's switching back to the alts. So altcoins are starting to buy back in off the bounce. So we got up to where we're at 43.88% BTC market cap. And then wrapping up here with a total crypto market cap, $1.733 trillion. As you can see, money start to flow back in as retail is buying the dip. They're ignoring the FUD, all the old China news that they regurgitated yesterday, and the improper. Tesla did not sell their Bitcoin. I'll say that. I said it last night. I said it again, and Elon even said he will not sell it. So that was misrepresented as well. So do your due diligence on this news because 90% of it's not even true. So there you go. Folks, have a great day. I'll see you tonight at the Crypto Happy Hour. Meanwhile, before you leave, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you, and we will see you tonight.